Is WWE fake or real?
The term fake can be misleading when it comes to WWE and professional wrestling. While the outcomes of the matches are scripted and predetermined, and the storylines are created for entertainment purposes, the physicality and athleticism of the performers are very real. Wrestlers undergo extensive training and engage in physically demanding performances that involve executing choreographed moves and stunts. The use of the term fake can be attributed to the predetermined nature of the matches and the scripted storylines, which differentiate professional wrestling from traditional sports where the competition is unscripted. However, it's essential to acknowledge that the term fake doesn't negate the physicality, athleticism, and skill involved in professional wrestling. The performers put themselves at risk of injury, and their performances require a combination of strength, agility, and showmanship. So, while the outcomes are planned, the physical aspects of the sport are quite real.
WWE is not a real sport, but a form of sports entertainment that combines elements of theater, improv, drama, soap opera, stage combat, and reality TV. The matches have predetermined outcomes and scripted rivalries, but the wrestlers are real athletes who train hard and perform stunts that involve real risks and injuries. WWE also blurs the lines between fiction and reality by incorporating real-life incidents or backstage aspects into the storylines. This is called a work-shoot promo. WWE is a real sport in the sense that it requires physical skill, endurance, and coordination, but it is not a real sport in the sense that it does not have fair competition, objective rules, or unbiased referees. WWE is a unique form of entertainment that appeals to many fans around the world.
Why fake fights are so popular?
Professional wrestling, including WWE, is known for its scripted or predetermined nature, where the outcomes of matches are predetermined and the action is choreographed. While the physicality involved is real, the storylines, characters, and rivalries are scripted to entertain the audience. Several factors contribute to the popularity of this form of entertainment. Storytelling. Wrestling combines athleticism with storytelling. The scripted nature allows for the creation of compelling narratives, characters, and dramatic story arcs. Fans become invested in the characters and their journeys, making it similar to a scripted TV show or movie. Drama and suspense. The scripted nature of the matches allows for the creation of dramatic moments, unexpected twists, and suspense. The uncertainty about the outcome keeps fans engaged, wondering what will happen next. Character development. Wrestlers often portray larger-than-life characters with distinct personalities, costumes, and catchphrases. Fans connect with these characters, and the ability to develop and evolve these personas adds depth to the storytelling. Athleticism and skill. While the outcomes are predetermined, the physical demands on the performers are very real. Wrestlers showcase athleticism, agility, strength, and skill in executing their moves, making it a captivating spectacle for fans who appreciate the physical prowess on display. Live events and spectacle. WWE events are often held in large arenas with elaborate production values. The combination of pyrotechnics, music, and the live audience creates a unique atmosphere. The energy of a live show adds to the overall entertainment experience. Global appeal. WWE has a global fan base, and its programming is translated into multiple languages. The universal appeal of the storytelling and characters contributes to its popularity worldwide. It's important to note that while the outcomes are predetermined, the physical toll on the performers is real. Wrestlers undergo intense training and put their bodies at risk to entertain the audience. The term sports entertainment is often used to describe this unique blend of athleticism and scripted entertainment in professional wrestling.
How do they develop characters?
Developing characters in professional wrestling involves a combination of creative input from writers, collaboration with the performers, and audience reactions. Here are some key aspects of character development in WWE. Creative team. WWE has a team of writers, producers, and creative minds who work together to develop storylines, characters, and feuds. They brainstorm ideas, plan character arcs, and decide on the direction of each wrestler's storyline. Collaboration with wrestlers. Wrestlers often play a significant role in shaping their characters. They provide input on their character's persona, gimmick, and motivations. Some wrestlers might have a natural affinity for certain character traits or have specific ideas for their character's development. Gimmicks. Many wrestlers have distinctive gimmicks or personas that set them apart. Gimmicks can range from being heroic to villainous and may include specific traits, behaviors, or catchphrases. Gimmicks are designed to resonate with the audience and create an emotional connection. Character evolution. Characters in wrestling often undergo evolution over time. This can involve changes in personality, alliances, rivalries, and even tweaking the overall look and presentation of a character. The ability to evolve keeps storylines fresh and allows wrestlers to stay relevant. Feuds and storylines. Characters are often developed within the context of ongoing feuds and storylines. These story arcs create conflict, drama, and build anticipation for matches. Feuds can be based on personal rivalries, competition for championships, or other dramatic elements. Promos and interviews. Wrestlers deliver promos and interviews to convey their characters' motivations, emotions, and objectives. Strong mic skills are crucial for building a connection with the audience and enhancing a character's persona. Fan reaction. Audience reaction plays a significant role in character development. Fan responses, both positive and negative, can influence the direction of a character. If a character is well received, the creative team might capitalize on that popularity. Conversely, if a character is not connecting with the audience, adjustments may be made. Merchandising and branding. successful characters often extend beyond the ring into merchandise and branding. This can include apparel, action figures, and other products that further reinforce a character's popularity. The collaborative process between creative teams, wrestlers, and audience feedback is dynamic, and character development is an ongoing aspect of professional wrestling. It's this combination of storytelling, athleticism, and character dynamics that makes professional wrestling a unique form of entertainment.
Fake fights in WWE are popular because they are entertaining, exciting, and dramatic. They appeal to people's emotions, curiosity, and sense of humor. They also create compelling stories and characters that people can relate to or root for. Fake fights are not just about facts, but about narratives. Some examples of fake fights are professional wrestling, scripted reality TV shows, and staged martial arts demonstrations. These forms of entertainment combine elements of theater, improv, drama, soap opera, stage combat, and reality TV. The performers are real athletes who train hard and perform stunts that involve real risks and injuries. But the outcomes and rivalries are predetermined and scripted. People enjoy watching fake fights because they provide a spectacle, a thrill, and a catharsis. They also allow people to escape from reality and immerse themselves in a fantasy world. Fake fights can also be a way of expressing or challenging social and cultural values, such as nationalism, identity, morality, or justice.
Can you name a few examples of social values in fake fights?
Sure, I can name a few examples of social or cultural values in fake fights. Fake fights are not just about facts, but about narratives that can reflect or challenge the values of the society or culture they are produced in or consumed by. Here are some examples. Nationalism. Fake fights can be used to promote or criticize a sense of national pride or identity, such as portraying one country or region as superior or inferior to another, or using patriotic symbols or slogans. For example, in WWE, some wrestlers have used their nationality as part of their character, such as Bret Hart, Rusev, and Jinder Mahal. Some of these characters have been portrayed as villains or heroes depending on the political context or the audience's perception. Identity. Fake fights can also be used to explore or express different aspects of personal or social identity, such as gender, race, ethnicity, religion, sexuality, or class. For example, in WWE, some wrestlers have used their identity as part of their character, such as Chyna, The Rock, Rey Mysterio, and Goldust. Some of these characters have been praised or criticized for breaking stereotypes or reinforcing them. Morality. Fake fights can also be used to convey or question moral values, such as justice, fairness, loyalty, honesty, or respect. For example, in WWE, some wrestlers have used their moral alignment as part of their character, such as John Cena, Randy Orton, CM Punk, and Daniel Bryan. Some of these characters have been cheered or booed for their actions or attitudes, or for challenging the authority or the status quo.
Do athletes use juice, or is it all natural?
WWE, like many professional sports and entertainment organizations, has a comprehensive wellness policy that includes provisions against the use of performance-enhancing drugs. WWE's wellness policy is designed to ensure the health and well-being of its performers and to maintain a level playing field. As part of the wellness policy, WWE conducts random drug testing for its talent. The testing includes screenings for a variety of substances, including anabolic steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs. Violations of the wellness policy can result in disciplinary actions, including suspension and mandatory rehabilitation. While WWE is known for its scripted nature and the outcomes of matches being predetermined, the physical demands on the performers are very real. Wrestlers undergo intense training and put their bodies through significant physical stress during performances. The prohibition of performance-enhancing drugs in WWE is crucial for the safety and well-being of the performers. It's important to note that WWE takes a proactive stance against doping, and instances of violations are addressed according to their policies. The vast majority of WWE performers are committed to maintaining their physical conditioning through legitimate means such as training, diet, and other healthy practices.
Don't you think that health and professional sport are incompatible things?
The relationship between health and well-being in professional sports is nuanced and can vary depending on factors such as the nature of the sport, the individual athlete's approach, and the overall sports culture. While professional sports can indeed pose physical and mental challenges, it's not accurate to label them as inherently incompatible with health and well-being. Here are some considerations. Physical demands. Many professional sports require intense physical exertion and training. Athletes push their bodies to the limit to achieve peak performance. While this can lead to injuries and stress, it's important to note that proper training, recovery, and medical support are integral parts of professional sports to mitigate these risks. Mental health. The pressure to perform, scrutiny from the media and fans, and the competitive nature of professional sports can impact athletes' mental health. However, there is growing awareness within the sports community about the importance of mental health, and efforts are being made to provide support and resources to athletes. Balanced approach. Athletes and sports organizations are increasingly recognizing the need for a balanced approach that prioritizes both performance and the well-being of athletes. This includes measures such as rest days, mental health support services, and injury prevention programs. Lifestyle and choices. Athletes' lifestyle choices, including diet, sleep, and recovery practices, play a crucial role in their overall health and well-being. Many athletes emphasize healthy living and adopt habits that contribute to their overall wellness. Long-term impact. It's essential for athletes to consider the long-term impact of their sports participation on their health. This involves making informed decisions about training intensity, recovery strategies, and retirement planning. While challenges exist, many athletes thrive in professional sports while maintaining their health and well-being. Sports organizations, including leagues and associations, have taken steps to create environments that prioritize the overall welfare of athletes. Athletes are increasingly vocal about mental health issues, prompting positive changes in how these issues are addressed within the sports community. Ultimately, the compatibility of health and well-being with professional sports depends on a combination of individual choices, organizational support, and a broader cultural shift toward recognizing the importance of athletes' holistic well-being.
But the only way to succeed in sports is to sacrifice your health, right?
While success in sports often involves dedication, hard work, and sacrifices, it's important to emphasize that sacrificing one's health should not be the norm or a long-term strategy. Athletes can achieve success by maintaining a balance between pushing their physical limits and taking steps to preserve their health and well-being. While there may be instances where athletes make short-term sacrifices for a specific goal or competition, a sustainable and successful sports career often involves a holistic approach that values health and well-being. The sports community, including coaches, sports organizations, and governing bodies, plays a role in fostering a culture that promotes both athletic achievement and the welfare of athletes. The idea that success in sports requires sacrificing one's health is increasingly being challenged, and there is a growing awareness of the importance of a balanced and sustainable approach to sports performance. Athletes are encouraged to take an active role in managing their health, making informed decisions, and seeking support when needed.
That's an interesting question. The term juice is often used as a slang for steroids or other performance-enhancing drugs that some athletes use to gain muscle mass, strength, or endurance. Steroids are synthetic substances that mimic the effects of natural hormones, such as testosterone, in the body. However, steroids can also have harmful side effects, such as liver damage, heart problems, mood swings, aggression, and infertility. The use of steroids or PEDs in WWE is a controversial topic that has been debated for decades. WWE has a wellness policy that prohibits the use of steroids or PEDs by its wrestlers, and conducts random drug tests to enforce it. Wrestlers who violate the policy can face fines, suspensions, or even termination. However, some critics have questioned the effectiveness and transparency of the policy, and accused WWE of turning a blind eye to some of its top stars who may be using steroids or PEDs. There is no definitive answer to whether all athletes in WWE use juice or not, as it depends on the individual wrestler and their personal choices. Some wrestlers may have used steroids or PEDs in the past, but stopped after getting caught or facing health issues. Some wrestlers may have never used steroids or PEDs, and rely on natural methods to achieve their physique, such as diet, exercise, and genetics. Some wrestlers may still use steroids or PEDs, but manage to avoid detection or punishment. Some wrestlers may use legal supplements or products, such as Juice Plus Plus, that claim to provide natural nutrition and benefits, but are not considered steroids or PEDs. Ultimately, the decision to use juice or not is up to each wrestler and their own conscience. However, they should also be aware of the potential risks and consequences of their actions, not only for their own health and career, but also for the reputation and integrity of WWE and the sport of professional wrestling.
Interesting. How do they avoid detection?
There are different ways that wrestlers can try to avoid steroid detection, but none of them are foolproof or risk-free. Some of the common methods are microdosing. This involves taking small and frequent doses of steroids, instead of large and infrequent ones. This can help reduce the amount of steroids in the urine and make it harder to detect. However, this method can still be caught by the athlete biological passport, which monitors changes in blood parameters over time. Microdosing can also increase the risk of side effects, such as liver damage, blood clots, and heart problems. Masking agents. These are substances that can interfere with the testing process, such as diuretics, epitestosterone, or probenecid. They can either dilute the urine, increase the ratio of testosterone to epitestosterone, or inhibit the excretion of steroids. However, these substances are also banned by WADA and can be detected by specific tests. Masking agents can also have harmful effects, such as dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, or kidney failure. Timing. This involves calculating the detection window of a steroid and stopping its use before a test. This can depend on factors such as the type, dose, and route of administration of the steroid, as well as the individual's metabolism, hydration, and body fat. However, this method can be unreliable, as the detection times can vary widely and unpredictably. Moreover, some steroids can be detected for months or even years after their use, such as nandrolone or stanozolol. Designer steroids. These are modified versions of existing steroids that are not yet known or tested by the anti-doping authorities. They can have similar effects as the original steroids, but with different chemical structures. However, these substances are illegal and unregulated, and can pose serious health risks, such as infections, impurities, or unknown interactions. Furthermore, they can still be detected by advanced techniques, such as mass spectrometry or carbon isotope ratio analysis. These are some of the ways that wrestlers can try to avoid steroid detection, but they are not guaranteed to work or to be safe. The best way to avoid detection is to not use steroids at all, and to rely on natural methods to improve performance and physique, such as diet, exercise, and genetics.
Who is the biggest WWE star ever?
Determining the biggest WWE star ever can be subjective and depends on various factors such as popularity, influence, impact on the industry, and drawing power. Several wrestlers have left a significant mark on WWE and professional wrestling as a whole. Here are a few notable names often considered among the biggest WWE stars ever. Hulk Hogan, often credited with popularizing professional wrestling in the 1980s, Hulk Hogan was a larger-than-life figure whose charisma, catchphrases, and iconic persona made him a household name. He headlined numerous WrestleMania events and was a major draw during his tenure with WWE. Stone Cold Steve Austin, known for his rebellious attitude and anti-establishment persona, Steve Austin played a crucial role in the Attitude Era of WWE during the late 1990s and early 2000s. His feud with Vince McMahon and catchphrase, Austin 316, cemented his status as one of the biggest stars in WWE history. The Rock, transitioning from a successful wrestling career to become a Hollywood superstar, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is one of the most recognizable figures in entertainment. His electrifying promos, in-ring skills, and crossover appeal have solidified his place among WWE's all-time greats. John Cena, with a record number of championship reigns and a career spanning over a decade, John Cena has been a cornerstone of WWE's modern era. His work ethic, dedication to the company, and charitable endeavors have earned him widespread admiration. The Undertaker, The Undertaker's longevity, mystique, and iconic streak of WrestleMania victories have made him a legendary figure in WWE. His character evolution and ability to reinvent himself over the years have solidified his status as one of the greatest WWE stars of all time. These are just a few examples, and opinions on the biggest WWE star ever may vary depending on personal preferences and criteria. Each of these wrestlers has made an indelible impact on WWE and has contributed to its enduring legacy as a global phenomenon in sports entertainment.
That's a difficult question to answer, as different WWE stars have different achievements, impacts, and fan bases. However, based on some of the web search results, some of the candidates for the biggest WWE star ever are: The Undertaker. He is widely regarded as one of the most iconic and influential wrestlers of all time, with a legendary career that spanned over 30 years. He is known for his supernatural gimmick, his epic matches, and his undefeated streak at WrestleMania. Stone Cold Steve Austin. He is considered the face of the Attitude Era, the most popular and profitable period in WWE history. He is known for his rebellious and anti-authority persona, his feuds with Vince McMahon and The Rock, and his catchphrases and gestures. Hulk Hogan. He is credited with bringing wrestling to the mainstream in the 1980s and 1990s, with his charismatic and heroic character, his signature moves and poses, and his involvement in pop culture and media. He is also one of the most controversial figures in wrestling history, due to his scandals and lawsuits. John Cena. He is one of the most successful and polarizing wrestlers of the modern era, with a record-tying 16 world championships, numerous accolades, and a loyal fan base. He is also known for his work ethic, his rap skills, and his involvement in movies and charity. The Rock. He is one of the most charismatic and entertaining wrestlers of all time, with a remarkable ability to captivate the audience with his mic skills, his catchphrases, and his electrifying moves. He is also one of the most successful wrestlers to transition to Hollywood, becoming a global superstar and a box office draw. These are some of the possible contenders for the biggest WWE star ever, but there are many other wrestlers who could also be considered, such as Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Ric Flair, Randy Savage, and more. Ultimately, the answer may depend on your personal preference and opinion.
What is dark side of WWE?
The world of professional wrestling, including WWE, has its share of controversies, challenges, and criticisms. While WWE has entertained millions of fans worldwide for decades, there are aspects of the industry that some view as troubling or concerning. Here are some elements that are sometimes referred to as the dark side of WWE. Injury risks. The physical demands of professional wrestling put performers at risk of injury. While WWE has implemented safety measures and protocols to minimize risks, injuries are still common, ranging from minor bumps and bruises to more serious injuries requiring surgery or rehabilitation. Long-term health concerns. The cumulative toll of performing high-impact moves and enduring physical punishment over time can lead to long-term health issues for wrestlers. Conditions such as concussions, chronic pain, and musculoskeletal injuries are among the health risks associated with a career in professional wrestling. Workload and schedule. WWE's demanding schedule, which includes frequent travel, live events, television tapings, and pay-per-view shows, can take a toll on wrestlers' physical and mental well-being. The grueling schedule can lead to fatigue, burnout, and strain on personal relationships. Treatment of talent. There have been allegations and criticisms regarding WWE's treatment of talent, including issues related to wrestler compensation, contractual disputes, backstage politics, and the handling of talent releases and departures. Diversity and inclusion. WWE has faced scrutiny over its representation of women, minorities, and LGBTQ+ individuals. While there have been strides in recent years to promote diversity and inclusion, some critics argue that more can be done to address issues of representation and equality within the company. Steroids and drug use. Like other professional sports, WWE has dealt with issues related to the use of performance-enhancing drugs and recreational substances among wrestlers. WWE has implemented a wellness policy to address drug testing and education, but concerns about substance abuse persist. Controversial storylines. WWE's scripted nature means that storylines and characters sometimes touch on sensitive or controversial topics. While these storylines are often intended for entertainment purposes, they can sometimes be perceived as offensive or inappropriate by certain audiences. Off-camera incidents. There have been instances of off-camera controversies involving WWE talent, including legal issues, personal scandals, and behavior that reflects poorly on the company. It's important to note that WWE has taken steps to address some of these issues over the years, and the company continues to evolve in response to changing social attitudes and industry standards. While professional wrestling has its challenges, many performers and fans remain passionate about the art form and the entertainment it provides.
Dark side of WWE is a term that refers to the controversial, tragic, or scandalous aspects of the professional wrestling industry, especially those involving WWE, the largest and most influential wrestling promotion in the world. Some examples of dark side of WWE topics are the death of Owen Hart, who fell from the rafters during a stunt gone wrong at the Over the Edge pay-per-view in 1999, the Chris Benoit double murder and suicide, where the former WWE champion killed his wife and son before hanging himself in 2007, the Montreal Screwjob, where Vince McMahon orchestrated a plot to strip Bret Hart of the WWE title without his consent at Survivor Series in 1997, the plane ride from hell, where several WWE wrestlers and staff engaged in drunken and disorderly behavior on a flight from London to Connecticut in 2002. These and other dark side of WWE stories are explored in depth in the documentary series Dark Side of the Ring, produced by Vice Studios and narrated by Chris Jericho. The series features interviews with key figures, reenactments of the events, and archival footage. The series has received critical acclaim and high ratings for its investigative and compelling approach to the darker stories from the world of professional wrestling.
What are the most common injuries?
In WWE, performers are susceptible to a range of injuries due to the physical demands of wrestling and the high-impact maneuvers involved in matches. While WWE has implemented safety measures and protocols to minimize the risk of injuries, they are still a common occurrence. Some of the most common injuries seen in WWE include muscle strains and sprains. Wrestling involves a lot of grappling, lifting, and throwing, which can put strain on muscles and ligaments. Common areas for strains and sprains include the back, neck, shoulders, and knees. Concussions, head injuries, including concussions, can occur from strikes to the head or from falls. Concussions are a serious concern in wrestling, as repeated head trauma can have long-term health consequences. Joint injuries. The high-impact nature of wrestling can lead to injuries of the joints, including the elbows, wrists, hips, knees, and ankles. Joint injuries such as dislocations, sprains, and tendinitis can occur from the repetitive stress placed on these areas. Back and neck injuries. Wrestling maneuvers often involve lifting and throwing opponents, which can put strain on the back and neck. Injuries such as herniated discs, spinal stenosis, and whiplash can occur from the impact of these maneuvers. Fractures and dislocations. The risk of fractures and dislocations is present in wrestling, particularly from high-impact moves or awkward landings. Common fractures include broken bones in the hands, feet, ribs, and collarbone. Cuts and lacerations. Wrestling involves physical contact with various objects, such as steel chairs, tables, and ring ropes. Cuts and lacerations can occur from these objects or from contact with the ring surface itself. Overuse injuries. Wrestlers are at risk of overuse injuries from the repetitive stress placed on their bodies during training and performances. Conditions such as tendinitis, bursitis, and stress fractures can develop over time. Bruises and contusions. Bruising is common in wrestling due to the physical contact involved, including strikes, slams, and falls. While bruises are generally minor injuries, repeated impact can lead to more serious issues. It's important to note that WWE takes the health and safety of its performers seriously and has measures in place to address injuries promptly and effectively. This includes on-site medical staff during events, access to rehabilitation services, and a comprehensive wellness policy that includes provisions for injury prevention and treatment. Despite these precautions, injuries are an inherent risk in professional wrestling, given the physical nature of the sport.
According to the web search results, the most common injuries in WWE wrestlers are strains and sprains, followed by knee injuries and head injuries. WWE has a strict concussion policy, which requires wrestlers who suffer a concussion to be cleared by a medical doctor before returning to the ring. Some other frequent injuries in wrestling are acute neck injury, neck pain, meniscus injury, collateral ligament injury, rotator cuff injury, and back pain.
It seems that all injuries are very frequent.